on Wednesday. But the story of the week is going to be quarterbacks, quarterback injuries, who's playing where, who's doing what, what's going on. And so I kind of wanted to get into this a little bit. Let's start with Washington, and then we'll get into Dallas. Number one, Hunter, if you're not the Redskins anymore, are you the Cowboys' rivals anymore?
Yes, because they still
now, wait a minute. Cowboys, from a Cowboys perspective, and I'm just saying this from let's say a Cowboys fan perspective would be like, we're not Cowboys Indians anymore. We've kicked y'all's ass for 10 to 15 years. I don't see where the rivalry is anymore.
Yeah, you could say that.
Should Washington be like, Philadelphia is our main rival?
I don't care who it is. Right now, we ain't competing.
You're in second.
That's going to change.
Rivera said that Allen will remain the starter for now.
I hate it.
I don't know why he would be.
I hate it.
But listen,
do you want to know why I hate it, though?
Yeah, sure.
It's because the reports were towards the end of the week last week when they made the move for Kyle Allen. It was because, one, the locker room wanted a change, and two, because they thought the division was still winnable.
Right.
Well, when did a team at any level, college or pro, have success when they had no idea who their damn starting quarterback week to week was going to be?
Not too many.
Exactly. So, therefore, I would just throw Dwayne back out there.
Oh, the players don't want that.
Alex.
They put him in third string.
I know they did. He's done. He's probably going to get traded within like a week or two. Watch him. They'll see what they watch.
I think they'll keep him.
No, I don't think they do. I don't think they do, mostly because if
he's not mature, then no.
The way it's going, we're probably going to draft one. We're probably going to just draft one. We're going to be in the same position maybe that we've been in for the past 2 or 3 years. I don't know.
If I was you guys, what I would do would be to trade Dwayne and Alex Smith.
Yes.
And then draft a quarterback.
Yes. We have to.
And then you got a bunch of picks.
Seriously, I think outside of Kyle Allen, just because Ron Rivera and Scott Turner like him, they're cleaning out the quarterback room, and they're going to bring somebody in. I truly do believe that because you know it and I know it. Teams that have quarterback controversies, they just don't win. They don't win because you need to have a solidified spot filled.
I can only think of two that's ever won. That was, if you actually think about it, remember it, Peyton Manning, Brock Osweiler.
Yeah, that was the first one that popped in my mind. Brock played a playoff game, and
there was a small argument back in the day about Jeff Hostetler too, whether to keep him and get rid of Phil Simms. And they ended up getting rid of Hostetler, and he went to the Raiders. But the question was,
but needless to say, sample size very small. It doesn't work. It just doesn't work that way. So, as a Washington fan, I'm sitting here and I'm saying, look, I don't want this going back and forth. All right. If you're going to go with Kyle Allen, cool. But he had the opportunity to come back in and play. Why didn't he do that last game? You just kept Alex Smith out there. Yeah. If you didn't want to see what Alex Smith could do, then not give him an opportunity to start next week. I don't understand. If Kyle Allen could come back in the game, why did you not let him get in the game? I'm losing faith in seeing what the direction really is that Washington wants to do. I get cleaning up the front office shit show that it is. Dan Snyder has been awfully quiet.
But that's you're taking again.
But that's because of a lot of the shit that's been put out by the Washington Post about him. He has to be quiet. Ron, I don't really know if his head is 100% in football. And guess what? It probably isn't.
And
it doesn't, and you don't want to blame him. Mm-mm. And I think, truthfully, it doesn't need to be 100% on football. You got cancer to fight right now, okay? I'm not, and sure, I don't know the severity, but I think you need to take care of yourself first. I'm not saying you have to step away, but maybe take a step back. Maybe let Jack Del Rio run some things really quick. Also, Jack Del Rio's defense is shitty. We are letting up almost 30 points a game. And not only that, Scott Turner should be fired as quick as they got him to Washington. That offense is horrible. How in the past 2 to 3 weeks have you only been able to score like 13 points a game? 10. I'm not saying we have the greatest weapons, but my God, I'm watching the Giants who don't have anybody. Not even their starting running back put 20 plus, almost 30 points up on the Cowboys.
So you ain't played Cowboys yet, have you?
I mean, shit.
They give up everybody.
Who scored the most points for us? Dwayne did. At the quarterback position against who? The Eagles.
You know, Dallas is dead last in scoring defense now.
They're horrible. Yeah, they're horrible. That defense is bad. I'm just saying, so far, what we thought was going to be a bright side this year has just continued to just be a dumpster fire. Should I have just expected it? Absolutely. But I thought we were going to have a little bit more stability, and now that we have this quarterback controversy carousel going around right now, I realize, okay, we really don't have any stability. We just don't. We don't know what we're doing at the quarterback position. So guess what? I'm prepared for whoever we draft next year. I am all in on the Justin Fields train because Trevor Lawrence will probably be taken before him. So,
all right. Well, let me give you some stats and info real quick. And remember Trevor Lawrence's name because I got a question about him too. So I'm gonna write his name here. Bills and Bengals are giving up 25 a game. They are the average median this year, so point scoring is up by 1 point per game. However, last year we had one team gave up 30. This year there's 7 right now. Just guess how many points the Cowboys are giving up per game.
35.
36.
That was close.
Insane. 36 points a game. Put it this way, Hunter. The Baltimore Ravens have given up 15 points a game, number 1 in the NFL.
They also just played Washington and Cincinnati. But
Indianapolis, who just gave up 30-something,
the Browns
are still only giving up 17 a game.
They have a good defense. That's another team I think that's got a quarterback problem.
The Rams are 3, giving up 18 points a game.
They're good, man.
So the Rams, Ravens, and Colts, by average, Hunter, play 2 games worth of defense
better
and give up less points than the Dallas Cowboys do per game. Now, there's a lot of ways to go from this. I got a few questions. I kind of want to jump in and out in a couple of things. One, Hunter, was it unsportsmanlike what Aaron Donald did to Alex Smith on the second first drive there? Did you see the play?
Hitting him?
No, jumping on his back. Did you see that part of it?
I didn't see that part.
No, Aaron Donald grabbed him with his left hand, right? Had him by the jersey. And instead of like pulling him in and tackling him, Hunter, he literally piggybacked him. Alex Smith, who everybody in the NFL knows almost died with a broken leg, Aaron Donald, full-bodied, jumped on his shoulders. And that was the first sack that Smith took, was Aaron Donald piggybacking him. Now, I guess you didn't see it, so I'm going to pull it.
A big fuck you. Second of all, I don't know. I mean, now if it was intentional and malicious, then absolutely.
I think it was. I really think it was. I mean, honestly.
Because here's the thing. You don't ever want to see a player intentionally try to hurt somebody. But you do know, and I've heard many players from that used to play defense, whether on podcasts and stuff, they said, look, if we knew he was kind of hurt, though, I mean, we were going to try and give that spot a shot. And I'm sitting here thinking, first of all, Aaron Donald, you are not a small man. Why would you jump on his shoulders? You think his leg is still... Are you testing his leg? Did he ask you to do that?
That's what I was.
You think he was just testing that leg?
I honestly thought that.
So, and then what I would have then asked, look at Aaron Donald, be like, so what would have happened if it would have broke?
I know.
What would you have done if it would have broke and they would have had to rush him to the hospital again?
I thought you had seen it.
No, the reason why I didn't see it is because, damn it, in this area, I can't watch this game, remember?
Yeah. All right, here it is. So, all right. So that's all. He's there. You see him right there, right? Mm-hmm. So all he has to do is wrap him up and take him down, right?
Right.
So he has him by the shirt with his left hand.
Uh-huh.
You see that he pulls him in. Now look at that.
Mm-hmm.
Aaron Donald jumped on his back. And I wish I could get a better view of it.
It's just so bang. I just don't know. I mean, but he did. He sure enough, he did. He jumped on him and wrapped his legs around him.
He straight piggybacked him. Yeah. I'm going to find this. There's another angle of it, and I'll find it in a second. But Hunter, honestly, I was like, wow. Look, here's the title of the video. Aaron Donald piggybacks Alex Smith is the one next one I clicked on. And hopefully they'll show a better angle of it here.
Look at that.
There it is.
What?
His leg here, yeah, this is the angle I wanted you to see. His legs are above his waist, wrapped around him. Mike, that's a kiddie piggyback. Kid's piggyback. So what do you think, Hunter, now?
I just don't.
On purpose?
I don't want to say it's on purpose, but I will say this. That might have just been unnecessary. He could have just taken him to the ground normally.
I mean, at worst, it was unnecessary. At best, it was unnecessary. At worst, he tried to break his leg just there.
Right. Yeah. At worst,
Hunter,
he intentionally tried to
he literally
injure him.
He jumped on his back. Have you, taking that aside, let's say that was just a reaction. Have you ever seen that before?
Someone just piggybacking a quarterback?
Right. Have you ever seen a quarterback piggyback before? Okay, so the guy with a broken leg gets piggybacked him.
Okay. I don't know.
I'll say it.
But
he did it on purpose.
Think about it. Everybody else that saw that has the same exact reaction to me, to my reaction, to anybody speaking that Alex Smith should be out there playing. I was just like, it's just like, oh, no. That's how I feel. The whole time when anybody was even saying, hey, maybe he should play, I'm like, well, now wait a minute. Now let's think about this really quick. How strong is it? I know scar tissue is technically stronger than a lot of things, but damn. Yeah. Like, what if somebody, and I know you're not supposed to hit low on the quarterback, but they get tripped and they go right into that sucker.
I know.
Like, that's
the ones you worry about.
That's the crazy stuff, man.
Yeah, for him to do that right there, like I said, he could have easily sacked him without jumping on his back, right?
Best case scenario, it was just unnecessary. Worst case, he might have been trying to intentionally make that leg hurt a little bit more.
Speaking of quarterbacks, I saw yesterday that GM said that the Jets might not even get a second-round pick
for Sam Darnold
right now. Also in San Francisco, Garoppolo comes back into the game and he's benched for C.J. Beathard. They still owe him 2 or 3 more years of $20-something million a year.
Mm-hmm. You were thinking about a little switchy, tradey between them.
So what's going on there? Of course, the Bears situation, they're 4-1, and hope the quarterback can not throw it to the other team 5 times.
Yeah, that's what you have to do.
That's all they're doing.
You just got to pray you're getting the good Nick Foles. Not the bad Nick Foles.
Yesterday, our local CBS decided to show the Cowboys and Giants, who are both literally further away than Cleveland and Indianapolis.
I think Indianapolis has a quarterback problem. I truthfully think.
Cleveland and Indy were both 3-1 coming in that game, and they showed us the trash of Cowboys and Giants. I think Philip Rivers okay, Hunter.
No,
they're 3-2.
I know they're 3-2, but have you seen his touchdown to turnover ratio?
Hey, he's letting it sling. You know why, don't you? He's got a good defense.
I know
he's
has a
letting
good
it sling
defense.
right now.
I know he is, but you had 2 picks and no touchdowns. In the week prior against the Bears, you hardly scored anyways. You got to score touchdowns. And look,
do they have any weapons right now?
Listen, yeah, oh yeah, they got Jonathan Taylor in the backfield. They still got T.Y. Hilton, and then they got what's his last name? Paris Campbell, who they drafted. Like, they've got weapons. Don't let it fool you. And they have the best offensive line in football, so he's safe to just stand there and let it rip. I got a buddy of mine, Jesse, back in the area I'm from. He's a diehard. He is a diehard Colts fan. Yeah, he is a diehard Colts fan. And he came out, and I told it, and I just said it on Twitter. I said, this might be an opportunity here in the coming weeks, not now, but in the coming weeks, if Phillip still is a turnover machine, you got to just see what you have in Jacob Eason. And he said, you know what? I think you're right. He said, look, let Phillip play for the next few weeks, because right now we're still winning, but if the turnovers start to be a problem and we start losing these games because of his turnovers, you got to see what you got in the guy you drafted in the 3rd round.
103 teams in the AFC North have as many wins as the NFC East.
Dude, we're trash. I know. It's a bad division.
All right, so let's talk about them Cowboys.
And did you see it happen live?
No, I didn't see it live. I was watching the race and not that trash.
I saw it live, and I'm not going to lie. I mean, my mother walked in the other room, and I said, oh, my God. She's like, what? I was like, he just broke his ankle. He just broke his ankle. When he went down to the ground and sat up, and I saw him do this, I knew something was wrong. I knew something was wrong. And then they zoomed in on his ankle, and I wanted to throw up. That thing was sideways. You could tell something was poking out in the sock that wasn't supposed to be. Now, it wasn't bloody. That was a good thing. I'm just saying, when it happened, I was like, he just broke his ankle.
So how much money did he lose?
Too much.
$200 million?
Oh, every bit $200 to $300 million.
And the Twitter, of course, I don't know if you got on Twitter after it. It turned into, within 30 minutes that Jerry Jones is the biggest racist in America.
I didn't see
Who's
any
paid
of that.
millions and millions and millions and millions and millions and millions of dollars to black athletes.
I didn't see any of that.
So it turned into that real quick because of the contract.
Right.
But then the other people were like, he could have accepted the 3 and 4 year deals that the Cowboys were offering.
Right.
Or whatever the 5 year deal.
I got an idea. If they want to get a quarterback, Washington will take you, Dak.
Now, before we go any further, one quick question. After seeing him lose $200 million on one play, now remember, what Aaron Donald did to Alex Smith, that could have done the same thing that happened to Dak Prescott.
Absolutely.
So that's where I was trying to get with you. Is like, is that really a dirty play on Alex Smith after you seeing Dak get his ankle broken on the guy falling on his ankle?
Right.
Aaron Donald piggybacked him. So with that said, if you're Trevor Lawrence, should you play a single, get another game?
At Clemson?
Yeah.
No. We've said this. Technically, no.
No.
Technically, no.
Absolutely not.
Technically,
if he gets hurt, Hunter, what does that mean?
Well, he can look at Tua and say, well, even Tua was hurt and got drafted in the top 10.
But he was healthy enough.
But there's a big difference in money between getting drafted 1 and 5th or 6th.
Or 2nd round.
True.
Or 3rd round. Because again,
I will say this, though. Trevor Lawrence, even if he's injured, he's not falling farther than the 1st round.
But if his ankle turns sideways, Hunter.
Well, if it's a catastrophic injury like we thought Tua was, where his whole hip broke, then it would be a big question.
Which I will make the point. It's week 5, and Ryan Fitzpatrick is still quarterback.
He's still balling,
Tua might not be.
He's still balling.
Tua might not be healthy.
He just beat the 49ers.
I told you my wife had never seen Tua before.
And she's watched him walk.
Saw him walk. He's like, he's got hip problems.
Yeah,
she called it out and never seen anything. Don't even know who it is.
Could be a limp. Listen, even Colin saw that and said, I think that's a limp. And Colin loves Tua.
Now, so let's stay with this Dallas thing. First of all, I'll go ahead and get the pettiness out of the way. I'm not shedding one tear for Dak Prescott. I don't care one bit that he got hurt. I don't care one bit that he might lose his job.
Well, he did make $36 million this year, guaranteed, so it doesn't matter.
That's the first thing. He got $36 million this year.
Yeah.
He has plenty of money for the rest of his life. Number 2, he got his job on someone else getting injured. So therefore, guess what, buddy?
This is a Tony Romo pity party.
Guess what, buddy? If you take someone's job when they get injured, you lose yours when you get injured.
I don't know if Andy Dalton outplays him, but we're about to find out. I don't think he plays bad.
Well, that's what I'm saying. If they make the playoffs, Hunter.
We got to think about it. It's something to think about.
How much is Andy Dalton making this year?
No, he's like, what, $1 million?
$1 million.
Yeah, that's like a league minimum. Not even. I think,
so again,
barely.
And he's going to be free agent too.
Yeah, he will.
So,
come to Washington.
If you're Jerry Jones.
We just need a quarterback.
Let's you're Jerry Jones and you go 8-8 this year, 9-7, you make the playoffs. So you win the division, whatever it is, with the Rocky. Everybody's saying it's gloom and doom like Andy Dalton's bad. He's averaged 10 wins a season.
No,
he's about to come out there and lie. Hunter, does he got better weapons now or when he was in Cleveland? Cincinnati.
Very, very good weapons. He's got better weapons than he's ever had.
His defense might give up 30. He's going to score the same number of points that Dak would have got, in my opinion.
Who knows? Mike McCarthy might even change the offense up.
They may pound the ball. Instead of like the game before, Dak threw 58 times and Zeke ran 12 against the Browns.
What did they start to do towards the end of the game after the Dak injury?
I haven't looked
They
at that
started to run the ball. They started to use not only Zeke, but Tony Pollard too. They were using their running backs like they need to.
And I noticed also as well in the Falcons game, they don't run the ball. Like they were averaging.
They were so successful running the ball.
They were averaging like 8-9 yards a carry.
Todd Gurley was getting me hella points.
They kept calling passes.
He got me like 29 points. Like he had 100 and something yards on like 16 carries, not even.
Yeah, 121 on 14.
He's killing it. And they still would take him out because they told him, they were like, look, Todd's only going to get 15 to 20 touches.
Yeah.
Why? If he's eating, feed him.
These coaches got to do what you can do. So again, my thing with Dallas, Hunter, if you're Jerry Jones, season's over, you made the playoffs. Let's say Andy Dalton wins a playoff game.
Well, you got to address the defense.
Let's say he has as many wins as Dak. Let's wipe all that up. I don't think the defense is awful. Somebody's got to make the playoffs in that division. Somebody will.
I agree.
Let's say it is Dallas. But my whole point of it is next year you could sign Andy Dalton to a 3-year, $50 million deal?
No,
$40 million deal?
40. He just would want to play.
And then use, let's say, so if you're paying him $15 million a year, and you were going to pay Dak $35, that means you have $20 million to spend on your defense. Now, with that said, what did the Panthers do this year? They drafted 7 defenders.
Got Teddy. Well, their defense is still bad, but
well, no, not anymore.
Not as
Hunter. The tides have changed in Carolina.
The tides have changed.
12th
not
in scoring defense. Matt Rule has brought in the defense. And what he did was just draft those 7 players and made your defense better than it was. The offense pretty much is the same scoring-wise as it was last year. But, Hunter, last year they were giving up 28 points a game. This year they're giving up 23 and a half.
We're essentially saying the same thing, though, because that's what I was saying. I was like, if Andy Dalton wins, and so what, you get put out of the playoffs, you just have to decide, I can bolster my defense and still have Andy Dalton.
Does Jerry and the Cowboys, the best move, and I don't even want to argue about it, is letting Dak walk.
The best move is them to tank and just get the rookie contract Trevor Lawrence or Justin Fields coming out. But Big D don't want to do that.
What if they like Andy Dalton?
Well, if they like him, then roll with him.
Saying.
But you're still giving him a couple $1 million a year on top of what you've seen the model is to win. Quarterback on a rookie contract. That's what you've been able to do with Dak with your success.
You keep Andy at under 20, I think that's definitely the play.
I don't know if he gets under 20.
It'd be close.
Think about it.
Depending on the agent.
Big D,
he took one, though.
He came in and basically was the savior for your season.
Him and Jameis both took one, though.
Yeah, but that was prove it moments. We just want an opportunity.
And he might prove it. So
that's what I'm saying.
I don't think he's going to get. What was he getting paid before? Do you remember?
I have no idea what he was getting paid in Cincinnati.
I don't think it was in the 20s.
I'm just saying, like, this model, a lot of these teams are going to have to start looking at their quarterbacks and looking at what's coming out and saying, look, these guys that are coming out are just as talented, and we can get them for cheaper than the guys we have right now.
If I'm the general manager of the Dallas Cowboys, Dak Prescott does not play another game for the Dallas Cowboys.
Well, he's not playing another game this year.
Well, right. And it's as simple as anything, is that, again, I can get the same production from Andy at 15% of the cost, and his ankle isn't pointing sideways. So, you know who caught the only touchdown in that game yesterday for Dallas? Dak Prescott.
That's right.
He's the only one that caught a touchdown pass yesterday.
Little Philly special in Dallas.
It's insane. Like, it just, I don't know.
Listen, I will say this. Andy can't come in and do much better to what Dak was doing statistically, but I think that's more on scheme. Well, scheme-wise, I think about it. Dak was over 1,000 yards already through like 4 games. He had so many touchdowns. Like, statistically, he was putting up numbers. It just wasn't equating to wins. He was
leading the league in passing yardage per game.
Yeah, I mean, but that's what I meant by what I meant by even if he doesn't put up the numbers that Dak was, I think that just comes down to scheme. But I want you to think about that. You still let the Giants score 34 points.
Yeah. Defense is awful.
Awful.
So Andy Dalton went 9 of 11.
Yeah, what was his yards? What was he averaging per pass? They probably played pretty conservative with him.
10. Oh, per pass or completion? Per pass,
per
10.
Pass.
Exactly 10.
Okay.
Completion was about 12.
All right. Look, I don't think he's going to come in and be bad. I don't. If I'm Dallas, you have to consider seriously either Andy Dalton, depending on how it ends at the end of the season, if you have success. If you don't have success, you got to look at this draft and say, well, we had the opportunity to do what Patrick Mahomes was able to do in Kansas City. We got an explosive group of weapons around him. Just get a guy good enough, a la Trevor Lawrence or Justin Fields,
either way, I think
on the rookie contract.
Either way, I don't think
in Dallas
play again.
You don't think he should play at all, though? No. Or who gives him the contract?
Yeah, he can play wherever he wants. In Dallas, I wouldn't.
I mean, if you're Dallas, you just have you have options at this point because
I mean, they were weighing options before this point.
Well, Dak was on pace. This was definitely one of those prove-it years. That's what it was. I think that's why they were letting him throw it so much.
How about eight Cowboys besides Dak Prescott caught passes, and he's the only one that caught a touchdown pass?
Listen, I will never.
So weird.
They're loaded, but that defense, they ain't winning shit if it don't get together. Not only that, you want to talk about bad defenses. Who wins the East? I think Dallas wins the East.
What's the record for the win?
6-9.
Andy Dalton.
6-10.
Andy Dalton wins the East at 6-10.
6-10.
Surely to God, somebody gets 7-8 wins.
Well, then make him 7-9. I don't care. Make him 7-9. That's fine. But Philadelphia's gonna have that one tie in there, so that screws them up. Washington ain't doing shit, and neither is the Giants. And then this is the only thing I gotta say too about quarterbacks and coaching changes and whatnot. They fired the head coach and the general manager for Atlanta. Do you know who? And what have we said for weeks has been their weak point? Defense. Their defense has been bad. Do you know who they elevated to head coach? Their defensive coordinator. I said, damn, y'all really are just buying in to this bad defense, aren't you? I made a bold tweet, too, because I have Matt Ryan on my fantasy team, and this is like the second or third game he has not thrown a touchdown. I said, I'm benching him. I would bench him today if I was the Falcons.
Just like the umpire I was arguing with the other day. People would rather double down on complete ignorance before admitting they were wrong. If people on this planet would do a better job, I would say 90% of people, if you would just admit you were wrong once a day about something, this world would be a lot better place instead of blaming everyone else for everything that's wrong. But the Falcons, they got a good run game and they just don't do it. The same thing with Dallas and everywhere. And so you went ahead and your weakness was defense, and you elevate your defensive coordinator to be the guy that's really calling the shots on the team at this point, and not maybe having a guy come in that can look at your offensive coordinator and say, look, Julio hadn't played in 2 games. Yeah. Calvin Ridley's dropping passes left and right. Maybe we should just start running the ball a little bit more. So I don't know. Me or her?
Nah, yes.
I didn't know if it was mine.
It was not you. Definitely
my children. I don't want me. I meant my children.
Oh, no, not them. I don't believe so.
No. It was the noise machine.
Not at all. Yeah, it's the... Oof.
I showed Andre her album cover.
Oh, no, you didn't.
Yeah, he loved it. What? My kid waves at me. So I'm homeschooling now, folks. What? Come here. Come here. Ask the people what you just asked me.
How much longer until the show ends?
How much longer until the show ends? Austin, we have people across the planet wanting this show to never end. So too bad. Take off. Panthers giving up 23.5 a game. Baltimore's 1, Colts 2, Rams 3, Bears 4, Arizona 5, Pittsburgh 6, Chiefs 7, Bucks 8. So yeah, as far as Dallas goes, Milton was upset this morning. He's a Cowboys fan, and he said, "What's better?" He said, "Dak shouldn't lose his job because when Romo lost his, he was hurt all the time." Romo played 4 seasons of 16 games. He played 2 seasons of 15 games. That's 6 seasons, and Dak still hasn't played 6 total seasons in his career. So before we start counting how many games we've missed,
right?
Let's
get there.
Get in perspective, and then also the games he missed his last season was because a guy kneed him in the back and broke a transverse process, which is it was a hairline fracture. They set him out 3 games. Dak won 3 games, and they left him in. So if Andy Dalton wins 3 games, Hunter, we've already set the precedent. It's over. It is. It's 100% over. They can get over it. I'm sorry. We've done this before. Romo had a contract, Hunter, and it was over with him. Dak don't even have a contract.
No.
Peace out.
He's getting the 36
Take your broke-ass ankle to wherever. Who needs to quit? Jacksonville. See ya.
No. Minshew. No. He's actually playing really good. He's the only bright spot for that team.
That could be Jets, Lions,
Washington. We'll take anybody at this point.
Hell, it could be a Giant, depending on Daniel Jones.
We'll just take anybody competent enough these days.
What about Denver?
Listen.
They're always looking for free agent quarterbacks.
Drew Lock comes back off injury, maybe. But I don't know.
New England.
But see, that's the thing, though. The amount of teams that are running out, usually have space for a quarterback because they're usually god-awful, it's becoming slimmer and slimmer because they're just drafting these young guys and they're working.
What
so
about Patriots?
They might extend Cam, so probably not.
Would that be cheaper than Cam?
Probably not.
It might get about the same at this point.
Well, think about it. Bill Belichick don't want to pay nobody no way, so it's just going to be whichever one bites.
What about Dak in Miami?
Well, I mean, if Tua definitely is not the guy, whatever. Like there are teams that could do it, but you also have to think which ones are going to be in position for the top 3 quarterbacks coming out next year. So go ahead and mark them off.
What about the Bears?
Yeah, why not?
That's a good one.
If Nicky doesn't work out and you're done with Trubisky, like there are options. There are, but you just like those teams have to do what every other team has to do that has a quarterback problem. Can we find one good enough in free agency and want to pay him his price, or do we just get the young guy coming out of college? That's what I've had to do now with Washington. Sure, I would love Dak Prescott in Washington. I've given Dak a lot of flack throughout the years, but these past 2 years, he's shown, okay, he can throw the football. I don't want him throwing it 60 times, but he can throw the football. I would like him on my team. But do I want him at his price, or do I want possibly Trevor Lawrence, Justin Fields, or the kid out of North Dakota State coming out? Like, I don't know. That's tough for me, because then I can fill holes if I get them with other people.